Good morning, good morning. This is John Dingfelder, and you're listening to Down and Dirty. I've got some fantastic guests with me today, starting with my amazing bride, Lynn Marvin Dingfelder.
You two know each other?
A little bit. Whippersnapper Jason Marlowe.
Hi, guys.
The kid in the room.
I feel so small. If you can't see
He's
me,
in a little chair.
I'm in a very little chair.
And he's sitting in the corner where he belongs.
I feel so small. It's not even SMA, two L's. It's SMOL, small.
And we have our fearless leader, Sean Kinane. Good morning, Sean.
Thank you, Sean.
Good morning, John and Jason and Lynn. And we are going to raise $1,700 this hour, we hope. And people can do that if you support Down and Dirty. We really need to hear from you this hour. We've got some people who already donated, but now we're looking for you. And just to remind everyone, the number to call in is 813-239-9663. If you love this show, we'd like you to support it as well. You can make a donation at WMNF.org.
Empty those wallets.
$1,700.
Leave no dollar unturned.
$1,700. I believe, Jason, that would come out to $2.93 per minute. Ready, go.
Whoa, you crunched the math on this.
Well,
Look at you, Stephen Hawking.
Actually, I just faked it.
He's a math
I'm the
teacher.
smartest person in the world, right next to Elon Musk.
Oh, let's not go there. Let's not go there.
All right. Let's get serious. Lenny, how long have you been involved or around WMNF?
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Well, you don't have to go exact years. Then people will do the math. I know. Many decades.
I remember MNF when it was in that little building in Hyde Park, when it was just like pirate radio. It was wonderful when it just started. I mean, it's still wonderful, but it was really funky back then.
Cam Dilly and
Rob Lorai and Janine Farver and just wonderful people with a mission. And because of them, we are on the air today. And the mission might have changed or modified or... but I think that what this station offers and the reason we have to ask you for help as we do for contributions and donations is because what we're doing is really important in terms of giving you another view or listening to people you might not otherwise hear and getting information that, especially today, may not be readily available. Because we're community radio, we're not sponsored, so there's no bias. And there's real journalism at this station, which is also a dying breed. And I think that it's important that because community is in the name, the community supports what we're doing. We're all volunteers. You do the show every week, you guys, Jason and Johnny, and it's a volunteer effort, but it's a lot of work to set up and get people scheduled and to do your research. And people don't realize, there are a couple of wonderful staff people here, but this station runs on love and community spirit and volunteerism. So when we ask for pledge and help, it's to keep the lights on, it's for the air conditioning, it's for building maintenance, it's for an occasional new microphone. God knows we need some new chairs, don't we, Jason?
Yes. The chairs here are actually from the silent film era. Charlie Chaplin sat in one of these chairs. If you don't know, ladies and gentlemen, you can actually still see his mustache against the back.
So, Jason, in all seriousness, you're a young guy.
I am. I'm 36, man. Young? Tell that to my knees.
That's pretty...
I can feel it when it rains now, John. I can feel it when it rains.
It's all relative, and you are young. So tell us, as a young person, why you're attracted to WMNF. What does it mean to you?
And you give your time, and you really are so wonderful.
Well, one, it's really easy because I love John. When you love your husband almost as much as you do, it makes it very, very easy to want to spend time with him.
Love somebody.
And I do, and I do. I'm very proud to love and be almost. I was temporarily almost a neighbor of the Dingfelders, but I think for me personally, man, I think it's the fact that we have an opportunity here in WMNF to get people in touch with local perspectives, local voices that they don't often have an opportunity to interface with.
Hear, hear.
We're educating and entertaining in a way where people have an opportunity on their commute to or from work or wherever they are in their car or at home where they're listening.
Or the podcast.
Yeah,
right?
just to feel like they're getting a chance to laugh. They're getting a chance to learn from people who are subject area experts in their fields. That's why we're taking the due time to bring them on here. And personally, I'm just really, really proud to be part of something that's trying to help make this community a little bit better, a little bit happier, a little bit more informed, one day, one show at a time. And, we keep showing up every week because we love it, and we're confident, right, that we're making a difference, and judging by the listeners who see fit to call in every Friday and engage with John and our guest.
And you guys do get a lot of calls.
Yeah,
it's really neat.
God, just a couple weeks ago when we had Mr. Pittman on, or a couple weeks before that, man, our phones were blowing up. We couldn't keep them under control.
Well, speaking of calls, we've got some calls already this morning. A couple of anonymous donations, but I'm going to read a few. We've got $108. Let's see if I can sneak peek a little bit. All right, this is from our friends T and L, who recently moved to the Heights. Well, that's like a quiz,
It's a game show.
Another anonymous donation of $108. The phone calls are really already starting to come in, and
wonderful.
we need your calls. $214 anonymous donation came in already this morning, and $50 donation from a good friend, but who prefers her name not to be read. And this one is $325 from a very good hardcore Democrat. I'll throw that out there. I know we're not supposed to be partisan, but this person goes by that. And finally, another $108 anonymous donation. We got off to a good start, but your support of WMNF has never been more crucial than it is right now. With federal
100%.
and underwriting funding for public media under threat, community radio stations like ours are facing unprecedented challenges. WMNF has always been powered by listeners, by you, people who understand that independent media is essential for a healthy democracy. For 45 years, we brought you uncompromising reporting, diverse music, and authentic community voices. Help us keep that tradition alive. Becoming a member today, 813-239-9663 or WMNF.org to donate. Thank you.
Yeah, this is the place, right, where if you want to help fund local voices here in your community, like I said, educating, entertaining, and informing you, this is the place to go. We're here for you. This is community radio. It's for and by the community. And here on Down and Dirty, we're extremely privileged to try to bring you guys, like I said, local perspectives, local insights, local subject area experts.
So, Lenny, you put together some sound clips from prior shows. Folks, if you haven't been listening this past 6 months or so, Lynn pulled together some of the, let's say, best of.
That's hard to do because there were a lot of great shows and wonderful people. And one of the things I want to do is to thank many of the wonderful guests that you've had on the show. Certainly many friends. Some people you just cold call and say, come on.
And so many of them drive over here, drive up from Sarasota, drive over from St. Petersburg, and we appreciate that tremendously because a face-to-face conversation.
The whole point of
so
this show,
better.
though, as you stated earlier, is that it's a behind the scenes of politics. It's the inside look. It's scratching beneath the surface and getting the real answers to hopefully hard questions, whether it's our wonderful listeners calling in and their questions or you guys asking the tough questions. Yeah. And so we've had some great people on, but one of the things that WMNF does so well, one of the many things, is that we're asking for your help and your donations, but we're also wanting to give you something for that. So there's some wonderful gifts that we want to offer you for certain amounts. But this show on Down and Dirty, we're offering a couple special pledge gifts. And some of them come from the guests we've had on the show. For instance, Sean, if we can cue up Craig Pittman. He was on the show just a couple weeks ago.
Excellent episode.
He has a book out now called Welcome to Florida, and he will sign that. He will autograph it for you. We only have one copy, but we are offering that for a contribution of $75. You will get an autographed book from Craig Pittman, and he's just wonderful.
It will be personalized to you.
Right. Here's his sound bite where he talks about a little bit about himself.
Florida native, so if we're interrupted by a biologist coming in to put a tag on me, that's why. I'm an endangered species. No, my dad was a land surveyor up here. He grew up in Jackson County, grew up on a peanut farm.
Wow.
Where his mom was a part-time sharecropper, believe it or not.
Wow.
And my mom is from Santa Rosa County. And so they met here in Pensacola and married, and I grew up here and have had my entire journalism career has been here in Florida because I contend it's the most interesting state. We call ourselves the Sunshine State, and that's just a lie we tell the tourists. We're actually, so many of our cities are rainier than famously rainy Seattle. But I think if we called ourselves the most interesting state, we could back that up. I mean, this is the only state where we have mermaids on the government payroll, and not to mention python hunters on the government payroll. Our state capitol was voted in an online poll to be the most phallic public building in the world. And I think the people who work there sometimes take that spirit too literally. There's just so much interesting stuff to tell you about Florida. We have more first magnitude springs than anywhere else in the world, and then we treat them like toilet bowls. So, there's just a lot to write about.
Yeah, I mean, listen, this is the only state where someone has thrown.
So, and that was Jason chiming in. Sorry, we cut you off.
No, like I said, this is the only state in which someone has thrown a live alligator through the drive-through window of a Wendy's, and we're proud of it.
And I wasn't aware of that. The lights are lighting up, the phones are calling in. And that last call was Craig Pittman. That last bite was Craig Pittman, who wrote for the St. Pete Times for like 30 years. Fantastic writer. Now he's retired. He came and talked to us about all sorts of interesting things about the environmental issues.
And we're offering his book.
And we are offering his book autographed personally to you for a donation of $75. So if you were holding back and you like Craig Pittman, and he's a great writer, and he's written many books, this is the latest book. You can call in at 813-239-9663. Thank you, Sean.
And we only have one of these available.
Only one available. The first caller for Craig Pittman's book, autographed and signed and personalized to you, gets it. 813-239-9663.
And Craig writes for the Florida Phoenix. He's not entirely retired.
No.
True that.
Still
engaged, still
but
putting out
he's writing opinion pieces because he told us that's
very specifically.
He told us that's a big thrill for him.
And speaking of that, let's cue up that next bite because that really speaks to what you're talking about. Thanks.
Sure.
How does it feel, Craig, after all those years? I mean, I know you wrote some columns as well at the Times, but most of the time I think you were writing articles. But how does it feel to have the freedom to just write columns and give your opinion and that sort of thing? And you're doing it right now, by the way, with the Florida Phoenix.
Yes. I've been working for the Florida Phoenix for 4 years now. I really enjoy it. I miss the newsroom camaraderie at the Times. On the other hand, the number of mandatory staff meetings has dropped to 0, which is helpful. And I can make corny jokes and obscure pop culture references, and people tell me that helps them to get through all the sort of the bitterness of the and the downbeatness of a lot of the environmental news. Is I'll make them laugh while making them cry. And so that's my goal, is to give them that spoonful of sugar to make the medicine go down. And I do try and when I find I look for positive stories. Maybe one out of every 4 or 5 columns is a positive thing. So I wrote something on how the Okaloosa darter, a very small fish that was on the very first endangered species list, has now been recovered because the folks at Eglin Air Force Base worked really hard to restore their habitat. So there are positive environmental stories out there if you look for them, but you have to look for them.
So that was Craig Pittman. We had him on about 2 weeks ago. He's a fantastic writer with the St. Pete Times and now with the Florida Phoenix. Craig's written a brand new book. It's called
Welcome to Florida.
Welcome to Florida. And it's just coming out in the next couple of weeks. You can be the first person on your block to have it. And you will have an autographed, personalized copy if you call in right now for $75 pledge if it hasn't been taken, because we only have one book.
People will flock to you. Do you want to be the coolest person on your street? Do you want all of your neighbors to tell their neighbors about how awesome you are?
Well, Jason, you're already the coolest kid on the block.
I'm the coolest kid on all blocks. Every conceivable block, I'm still the coolest person on that block.
So true. Lenny, we had another guest probably about 6 or 8 months ago, Carrie Kreisman from across the bay.
I really enjoyed that one.
And you were with us that day.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. I could relate to a lot of what she was talking about. But here's another example.
Carrie, of course, being the mayor's wife, Mayor Rick Kreisman's wife, and a great person for St. Petersburg.
Here's another example of someone who's not only donated their time and so much of their life to public service, but here she's written a book and she donated a copy that she will sign and autograph to you. We only have one, but Carrie, her book is called Accidental First Lady, and we have a soundbite from when she was on the show.
Well, we had been in politics for about 18 years, and all that time, most people didn't really, I think about the people behind the politician. And so, I was perfectly content to serve alongside and in the background and in the forefront when required. And as Rick went through his political career, which spanned 22 years, the political climate locally and around the world and the country became a little more volatile, vitriolic, and things like that. And people started paying attention more. Maybe people who weren't as political, were taking notice. And so his last political campaign, his 8th and final campaign for re-election to mayor of St. Pete, and thankfully he won, was pretty tough. I'm not going to beat around the bush. It was pretty tough, in the community and everything. And so shortly after his victory, I was having coffee with a friend and we were just chatting. And by now I'd had some stock responses that people would ask me things. I always made sure I knew about the talking points and what he was working on and what kind of, certain things that people wanted to know if I was asked in the grocery store, in car line, and anywhere. So, but over coffee with a friend, one-to-one, so to speak, she said, how do you do this? As in, how do you live this public life that isn't always so kind? And I gave her an honest answer that it had been hard. It was a 6-month, in essence, re-election campaign, and it was tough. But and then she said, you should write a book. And I honestly had never thought about it. Someone suggested to me when he became mayor in 2013, are you going to start a blog? And I said, nah, I don't think so. I was super busy working, running the kids around, living life, and just trying to stay above the water, so to speak. And then I gave the book some real thought. And first I came to the idea of writing the book as a how-to for political spouses. And when I started writing, I found that my advice would generally be the same in a lot of situations.
Excuse me, is it one line like don't do it?
In essence, yes.
Just wondering.
So that's where, and then I thought, who am I to tell people how to live their life? Because there are certain ways that I think a lot of us believe we should behave, like write it but don't post it kind of thing. Write the letter that you never send when you just...
That therapy journal.
Exactly. So I changed the focus, and I think with any project like a book, you maybe start one way and then the road takes you a different way. So that's how I got started with writing my story, and it just evolved after that.
So that was the Accidental First Lady, Carrie Kreisman, and we were really honored to have her in the studio. Do you remember she brought her service dog with her? That was a lot of fun.
Because she trains service dogs. She raises them up from a puppy and then gives them back.
There's nothing more brutal than wanting to pet a service dog but not being able to pet a service dog. I want to pet you.
But what a wonderful thing to do.
Says I can't.
Anyhow, we have one copy of her book that she will autograph to you if you call in and pledge $75. And the number to call is 813-239-9663. Only one copy of that book. Call 813-239-9663.
Money is infinite, but there's only one signed copy of this book.
Yeah, it's really special, I think.
All right, we've got a donation that just came in from our good friends Janet Zink Scherberger and Tom Scherberger.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, former host. What was the name of their show?
Of Wavemakers.
Yeah, and they did a great job for a couple of years.
Great. Both wonderful reporters, by the way.
Fantastic reporters from the Tampa Bay Times. And just great all-around people, still deeply involved in the community, sidewalk stompers and all that. Thank you, Janet, so much.
Thanks for listening, guys.
For your thing.
Tom's
Janet,
the best.
Janet had a quote. Great work, John and the gang. Keep on throwing down.
Another Potter.
Yes.
Wait, really?
Yeah, for sure.
Janet and
The
I do pottery
connection.
together on Thursdays yesterday.
Well, actually,
God.
so John used to do something else on Thursdays. Now he does pottery. And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
really
I was there.
Wonderful. It's
remember.
really, it's still a public service. Speaking of pottery.
Speaking of pottery.
Yeah, you
it's a
can
nice
get
transition.
Yeah.
So if you want some Dingfelder pottery exclusives,
an original
one of a
Dingfelder.
kind type of stuff, we are offering some very special gifts here on Down and Dirty. We have a beautiful set of 4 dinner plates. They're about 9.5 inches each, and there are 4 of them, and they're just beautiful.
Are you biased, honey?
Art critics have said they are, in fact, pottery. So if you're interested in pottery, please know that art critiques have looked at this and confirmed that they are, in fact, pottery.
I'm so good at it. I was thinking about changing my name to Harry.
Oh, stop, you guys. Oh, jeez. I feel like I'm in a kindergarten class. Okay. Anyhow, the dinner plates are
Is it nap
available
time
to
yet?
you. The dinner plates are available for a $100 pledge if you're interested in exclusively the
This
John
is an
Dingfelder
original
pottery.
Dingfelder. This is a
Right.
collector's item.
They're
Your
really
grandkids
beautiful.
will
It
be
actually
putting
is.
this on Antiques Roadhouse one day. Do you understand?
The phone number to call is 813-239-9663. We only have one set of 4 dinner plates. 813-239-9663. It's a speckled clay, and it's dipped in kind of a chocolate and blue. It's
Every
just
time you
beautiful.
eat dinner, you will get to think of John Dingfelder. Think of the
Well, I
kind of
do.
added value that adds to your meal
Anyhow,
if you get to think about John
That's
every time you eat.
$100. Your pledge not only helps the station, but gives you a beautiful set of original pottery. We have some other pottery that John has made. We've got a beautiful two spoon rests. We have 2 available. They're $25 each. They're about 4 inches, and they're the kind of thing you keep in the kitchen near where you're cooking. And
Are you constantly thinking, my spoons have no place to rest? Where are my spoons supposed to lay down and enjoy a moment of relaxation? John Dingfelder is taking care of that for you.
Okay, anyhow.
All right. In all seriousness now, Gary Gibbons has done a
thank you,
pledge
Gary.
Thanks, Gary.
for the Craig Pittman book.
Oh, how
Where's
wonderful.
our bell? Ding, 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 ding.
No,
Mario, where are
the
you?
bell
Oh,
left.
no.
Another bell left.
Gary, thank you so much. Gary contributed whatever the amount was, the appropriate amount.
$75. Isn't that nice?
$100 actually.
isn't that nice?
Gary, we love you tremendously. Gary says, I love Down and Dirty and the great guests that John and Jason have every week.
thank you so much, Gary.
Accurate news is more important now than ever before. Thank you, Gary and Jane Gibbons of St. Petersburg.
So with that generous donation, now we've raised $952 out of our $1,700 goal. We're past the halfway mark. We need, I'm thinking, about $750 to go. So if there's people out there who want to take the pottery or the Carrie Kreisman book or any of our thank you gifts, make a donation, support Down and Dirty, support WMNF. Just call 813-239-9663 or donate at WMNF.org.
But wait, there's more. There's another piece of pottery I want to brag
Were you
on.
on Home Shopping
Big
Network?
Billy Mays energy there. But wait, there's more.
Okay, we have a beautiful 6.5-inch bowl that we're offering as a pledge gift for $50. It is really stunning. It's kind of a light blue-green speckled clay thing, and it's just
So if
lovely.
that will match your kitchen.
Yeah, it matches mine. but I'm willing to give it up because the station needs your help, and we are giving these bowls to help raise money for Down and
And
Dirty
what's the
and
contribution
WMNF.
for that bowl, Lynn?
That is a $50 pledge, please. And the phone number to call if you want the bowl, the dinner plates, the spoon rests, the books, or you just want us to stop talking. 813-239-9663.
And listen, like, think about how restless your spoons are. Your spoons are restless. They need a place to
Irritable
chill.
bowel spoons.
Irritable spoon
Oh,
syndrome.
stop, you guys.
Sean,
help me
tell
out.
us
Yeah.
about some of those regular gifts that the station has.
Yeah, well, one of our popular items is the long sleeve T-shirt that you can get. It's an artist T-shirt. It's a light blue color, long sleeve. sleeved, light material. You can get it for a donation of $100. You can see a picture of it on the WMNF.org
It is
website.
beautiful. Beautiful
And
shirt.
if you like it there, you can make your donation there, or you can call one of our lovely phone bank volunteers. 813-239-9663 is the number that you can call in there. And I have another donation that John's going to read in just a second. But first, I want to thank some people who donated right at the end of Democracy Now! Democracy Now! Did make its goal thanks to the generous donations that I'm about to read. Judith Shillot from Wesley Chapel contributed $60. Thank you, Judith. Anonymous contributed $228. Thank you very much for that donation. And also another $240 donation on the Circle of Friends, $20 a month. Thank you very much. They're getting the Circle of Friends t-shirt. So this is from Terry from Lakeland. I appreciate all those donations that came in during Democracy Now!, which made its goal. Now let's help John Dingfelder and the rest of the team here make their goal. We need another $750 or so. Please call now, 813-239-9663 or WMNF.org. John?
Yeah, actually, this very nice person from Clearwater, Paula Jordan, joined the Circle of Friends.
Wow, that's wonderful. Thank you, Paul.
That was in honor of Democracy Now! Also. And we
nice?
so appreciate it. She's getting a T-shirt, an extra large T-shirt. She enjoys all the morning shows, including Down and Dirty.
There we go.
Thank you so much for that donation.
You know, the whole point of Down and Dirty's connections and conversations with people who are doing incredible things in our community. We try to make sure that you hear a wonderful range of voices and that we let everyone have a say. And I think that when you call in, you're a part of the show. We need you, not just your money. We need your voice. We need your opinions. Jason, stop it. But I shouldn't say my favorite guests, but one of my favorite shows recently was about the NAACP, and I have a bite that I'd like you to hear. Just these women are just powerful.
And you go way back with Connie Burton.
Yes, you're going to hear the new president of the NAACP, Yvette Lewis, and Connie Burton.
We're going into 2025, John. So, City Council has a lot of work to do because what I find out is that they're not listening to the actual people. Some of them are listening to the developers and who's giving money to their campaigns. So it's a lot that they need to listen to they need to listen to the people. And when it comes to issues in District 5, we have to go down there in the masses of numbers in order to get their attention. But if they still want to do something because the city wants them to do it, they still vote against us, even though we went down there in the masses. But other communities, they can go down there with 3 or 4 people and get exactly what they want and get everything that they need. But when it comes to District 5, it's really difficult. You know, Frank Reddick I give him a lot of credit for fighting for the Citizen Review Board. I mean, he was the one that stood up and demanded that we get that. So,
and then tragically, Tallahassee takes it away.
Takes it away.
Yeah.
And
what the Lord giveth, Tallahassee takes away.
Takes it away. But we had that time, together to speak up and to say something. And because he stood up for his community, he was pretty much blackballed, when it came to getting things and resources for his community, which is District 5. And if you look at the makeup of District 5 now, the percentages have dropped tremendously, and we stand a chance of losing District 5. And so, sometimes you have to wonder, is that what the city has always wanted to do, is to bust up or get rid of or erase or eradicate the black district?
And if you go to the courts these days, I'm not sure the courts are very friendly to those concepts anymore, like they used to be.
They used to,
but not so much.
No, they've changed.
Well, this is America. And so we are not with no shock and awe from our perspective that these type of struggles have always existed in America, and it has been based on resistance that we was able to get, Black leadership, Perry Harvey and all of those that followed behind him. It didn't come as a willing hand. And so our responsibility under the leadership of Yvette and the NAACP is to continue to be a sounding board to say these are the things that African Americans are entitled to. Our sweat, tears, our labor here in America is not going to be erased because now you expand District 5 and now the downtown district is part of District 5.
Right.
We already recognize those that could afford to live in that area, how they tend to vote. But our voice, we plan on being just as disruptive. We plan on, through our political engagement, informing the community as to what we see happening, and hopefully, like they say, trouble don't last forever. Trouble don't last forever. I am so happy to be going into 2025 because now we're going to see who our allies are. We're going to see the real coming of America, how people is going to line up. Are they going to line up on the side of what they know to be wrong in order for their own individual survival and watch the planet just erode? That's what I'm looking for.
Oh, Connie Burton and Yvette Lewis, they are
powerhouses.
Unbelievable.
Just wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And Connie, of course, I think she had her own show.
I used to be on the air here.
Yeah, a long time. And then Yvette has been a board member. They're active here at WMNF. They're so active in the community. Yvette's leading the NAACP for the second, third, fourth year or something like that. So we're just so proud to have them as friends and have them as guests. And those are the kind of guests we have on Down and Dirty. Just people who tell it like it is and don't pull any punches.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the point of our show, right? Is so often you feel like you're getting short shrift from your local media, not on Down and Dirty
news.
Yeah, on Down and Dirty, we lift the rug. We look for the dirt underneath. We throw punches.
Ooh.
We don't hold back. And Commissioner Josh Wolstow, if you're listening, you're still not invited.
He is invited. We just ran out of time.
Every week. Even on Pledge Week, there's just not enough time.
One of these weeks, he is going to take you up on it, and then
I promise you he won't.
But in all seriousness, in regard to county commissioners, city councilmen, where else in this community can you turn on the radio, listen to a podcast, be able to call into a show and have a conversation with your city councilman? Speak directly.
No, 100%, John. You're so right.
What is that? Speak to truth. Speak to power.
Truth to power.
Speak truth to power.
Well, we've had on some wonderful guests from Councilman Bill Carlson, Guido Maniscalco, Linda Salcena, Pat Manteiga and Jean have been on.
Pat Kemp.
Commissioner Kemp, former Commissioner Overman, Mary Ellis Smith.
There you go.
We have really we've hit the ground running.
Judge Mike Shanti came and talked about his special court, his Veterans Court, which was so wonderful.
Former state representative.
Yeah, and maybe we're introducing listeners to things that they don't know about. For instance, Mike Shanti's courtroom. Now, John, you worked in there, but what an interesting concept that they give vets.
Give vets a chance. Vets who've screwed up and have picked up even a felony get a second chance, and they deserve it because they've been through a lot. Jason, I understand that there might be a contribution coming out of your pocket.
I am going to personally claim the 6.5-inch bowl before someone else does. So you were too late if you were thinking I must possess an original John Dingfelder bowl.
Very sweet.
You're too late. I will soon possess it.
Well, there are other ones.
I think there are.
You may possess the plates or the rests for your spoons, but the bowl shall be mine.
Jason's. All right. And you too can call in for all of these great gifts that we've been talking about, and we need you to call. The phone is not ringing right now. 813-239-9663. We have 3 or 4 lines back there, and we need you to fill them all. 813-239-9663.
Another guest we had on the show recently, and I know it was very special for Johnny, is a brilliant young woman named Sadie Dingfelder, who is also an author,
is amazing.
a journalist. I knew you'd say that. And she has a book out, her first book. Aren't we proud? Do I Know You is the name of the book. And it's actually science and humor, if you can mix those two. Sadie was on the show because she realized, the book is all about her being face blind. And yes, that is a thing.
Some other neurodiverse issues. Sadie's not just some schlump off the street who says, I'm going to write a book. Sadie actually was a writer for the Washington Post and for the American Psychological Association. She put a lot, like 10 years of research into this book.
Well, plus she lived it. So we have a clip from Sadie's being on the show.
Oh, yeah, sure. The best advice for being a writer is just to write. You don't need anyone's permission. You don't need
get a degree in writing.
No, you can be a high school dropout and be a great writer. You could just read a lot. That's what you have to do, though, is just read a ton, and your brain will just automatically learn how to write, I feel like.
Whenever I write, Lynn says it sounds like lawyerese.
Lawyerese. Yeah, it's because what you eat is what you are, right? So if you read a bunch of law stuff, you're going to become a bad writer. You need to read really good books, well written.
All right, so now you're a writer, but how do you get to publishing a book, like really publish? And I know, okay, I'm not going to put it down. There's self-publishing now.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but that's a difficult row to hoe.
Yeah.
But you got it published by one of the big publications or publishers in the country.
Yeah.
So you just knock on their door?
No, you have to get an agent, and there's whole books with lists of agents. You have to find one that specializes in the type of book you're interested in writing. Oh, and the trick is to actually get other books that are just like yours or in the same genre and read the acknowledgments, because everyone thinks they're agents. So find the genre of book that you want to write.
Very clever.
Yeah, read the acknowledgments, reach out to that specific agent, and then accept the fact that that agent will probably think your book idea is like kind of bad, but they will help you shape it into a book idea that you can sell to a publisher.
Well, yes, I was very proud to have my daughter Sadie Dingfelder on, but it was a great show too, very informative. Her book is just amazing.
Face blindness, wow. Who
all
knew?
About face blindness and her experience, and other people, some famous people who are in there. Sadie has offered, I think, three copies of her book, personally signed and autographed to you for a donation, Lynn, of
$75. Just $75 for a special book.
And if you call in right now, 813-239-9663, you can get in line for Sadie's book. It's
a hardcover.
Yes. And we just got a donation in, very nice. One of our neighbors, David Bryant in Seminole Heights, who says that Down and Dirty is one of his favorite news and public affairs shows on WMNF.
Right on.
He'll miss Janet and Tom on Wavemakers, though, and those are big shoes to fill. But he also misses Sister Connie's show, Straight Talk.
Nice.
He said, John, Jason, Lynn, keep up the good work.
Very sweet. Thank you so much. Thank you.
So, where are we?
Well, we still need to raise about $725, I think, this hour, which is 15 minutes left in the hour. And you can do that by calling 813-239-9663. You can take one of these wonderful thank you gifts, or you can just donate to the station to make sure that the station continues, and you don't have to get a thank you gift. Or you can take a look at WMNF.org and see all of the wonderful gifts we have there to offer you.
As the song says, we got a long way to go and a short time to get there.
But you know, the other thing about WMNF, it's not just about Down and Dirty. There are some really wonderful shows right after ours. The Skinny with Mitch Perry and Ben Montgomery and Ray Roa. It's a wonderful show. I always listen.
Give us the money.
No, stop. No, but then you've got
me the money.
Then you've got Nadine Smith, who has a wonderful show called Awake.
Wide Awake America comes on Tuesdays at noon.
Thank you. I can't read my own handwriting. Thank you. And my friend Shelley Reback has a great show on Wednesdays, Midpoint. So you're getting really intelligent people bringing in great guests, great topics.
But it doesn't happen for free because they got to keep the lights on here. They got to pay the utility bills. They got some staff that's paid. We're not paid. We're volunteers. Most people around here, I'd say 90% of the people, 95% of the people around here are all volunteers.
Yeah, we just like talking.
You're talking to me. But in all seriousness, we need your contributions, and large and small. Seriously, $25, $15, $10, whatever you can afford. We just want to see the phones light up. And that number is 813-239-9663. What is it, Jason?
It's 813-239-9663. And Elon Musk, Drake, if you're listening, you can make a contribution.
No,
too. Anything in between $1 and $1 billion. There's a large frame for you to be able to make a donation.
Well, he only gave
there.
Trump $200 million, so don't be greedy, Jason.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, just like one solid $1 billion donation.
You know, every week we have so many callers and people who are listening. So if you're listening now and you want to show us a little love, that would be great. Even $10, $5, whatever you can afford.
How about a hug?
A hug is good too. And of course, we have gifts to encourage you to call in. We've got 3 authors who have been on the show who are offering to donate their books autographed to you for a pledge of $75. Those are pretty special. And then we've got that special Dingfelder pottery that's kind of unique.
Pottery.
And
I need a website. Honey?
No.
Your spoons need a place to rest.
I'm done.
Lydia is my technical guru. I need a website, dingfelderpottery.com.
Just shoot me. Okay, then we also have a magnet, a down and dirty magnet.
Yes, that was
made.
cool.
That's pretty cool.
And that you can get that only for $25 donation or $5 per month.
And it retails for $1,000. So, like, just keep in mind, you're getting it for $25, but this magnet retails for $1,000.
To increase in value.
Yeah, it is like a Beanie Baby. It is going to go nothing but appreciate.
You know, we'd be amiss if we didn't thank all the volunteers and all the people behind the scenes that you
100%.
guys don't know about. The people who do all the technical stuff. Got DT. We've got that wonderful lady who answers the phone.
Irene. Shout out to Irene.
Big shout out to Irene.
And Sean, thank you for running the board and helping us.
People who are
whenever
answering the phones today.
That's right. Miss Julie's back there. Everybody, all the people who work here and who help and donate their time. But really, I think it's driven a lot by love. But love alone cannot keep the lights on.
That's right.
No, but I'll say for whatever it's worth, for those who don't know how many folks are here dedicating themselves really day in, day out to try to educate, inform, and entertain you guys in the community. This place is by the community for the community. And right now we need the community to help keep WMNF and Down and Dirty doing the wonderful things that we do every week.
So, Jason, it is true that we have a couple of regular callers, and we won't name them. We won't shout them out because we love them too.
We do.
And we want to hear from them today.
Yeah.
They need to support this show in particular. Because
do you like to call in and just have obscure comments that have nothing to do with our topic at the time?
No,
that's you.
I am not
Jason.
talking about those.
That's you, Jason. Who does that?
I'm the good one. But if you're one of those callers, we
Jason,
need you.
Have you gone vegan?
Never.
Oh, stop.
Oh, God.
Oh, don't stop. That is so wrong. Okay, and let me also...
But anyway, no, in all seriousness, the regular callers... we really need you to call in and contribute. Give us that $25, $50, $100 will get you some swag.
And the number to call is 813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. Operators are standing by.
Oh, and I do have an anonymous contribution. How much? Where is it, Sean? Well, it's fantastic. What it is? Oh, there it is, $50. Somebody highlighted it with an orange highlighter pen. That's why I couldn't see it.
And so that means we need to raise $700 in the next 11 minutes. 813-239-9663.
We can do it. $100 per minute.
And here goes the math.
No, actually, that was bad math.
We need you. Please contribute. Help make sure that WMNF is able to continue serving the function it does here in the community by educating, entertaining, informing you, and particularly with us here at Down and Dirty, connecting you to people of note and distinction here in your community that you would not have the opportunity necessarily to engage with directly.
We have another bite.
And you know what? I might be stating the obvious, but the other nice thing about all of these shows we've talked about is that if you miss the live, you can find it online and listen to it. Podcasts are available to you on WMNF.org.
I think it's fantastic they got the podcast because I listen to myself several times a week after the show.
Constantly, I find myself just falling in love with the sound of my own voice, and so to do so, I just
are going to drive me.
I play it back again and again, and I mute John just so I can only hear myself. And I just, God, he's just such a handsome voice.
Do we have another bite, honey?
It pains me to do this, but I also want to say thank you to our host and co-host Jason Marlowe. You're always ridiculously fun, and Allison Hewitt has been on the show with you, and she's been absolutely wonderful. And so a shout out to her. I love the balance she brings to things. You know, this is a show that isn't just blah blah blah. You never know really what you're going to get, and you never know what this guy is going to say next to me. But we have on people who understand the behind the scenes working of government, of politics, of activists, and people who are real change makers, and that's.
Do you want me to get serious about this? All right, I'll get serious. I was on Tampa City Council for 10 years, which was a lot of sacrifice in our household, especially to the kind lady sitting next to me. But now that I'm not on City Council, I feel like it's my duty to take the knowledge, take the information, take the connections that we had, that we made, and bring them to the station and share them with the community. And I believe that was our motivation to come in and do the show. We've been on for, I think, about 2 years. And we brought Jason in, who's extremely knowledgeable about all things government and otherwise.
I have seen the sausage get made. It was not pretty.
But anyway, that's what we feel like our commitment is to the community, our commitment to WMNF.
Yeah, we feel like we're giving back a little.
Yeah,
100%.
Well, we're continuing to give back, and we appreciate the opportunity, but it doesn't happen for free.
So if you appreciate that, and if you think that's important, and if you care about the types of information we're bringing to you and the people we're helping you listen to and talk to, please call in and let us know how you feel. A small donation of anything, $10, $20, get the gifts if you want. But the phone number to call is 813-239-9663.
Can we do that last bite?
Yeah. So this last bite, just to set it up, is one of your favorite guests, Johnny, because you love all things environmental. Max is a reporter with
Max
the Tampa.
Chestnus, great young man. Reporter where? I'm sorry.
Tampa Bay Times.
Tampa Bay Times. And Max has been doing a fantastic job, most recently with the Florida State Parks and how they've been under attack. Folks, we've only got about 7 more minutes. And Sean said we have to raise $700. So that does sound like $100 a minute. 7 calls, $100. 14 calls, $50.
Okay, math man. Let's hear from Max.
28 calls at $25. 56 calls.
813-239-9663. 813-239-9663. Let's hear Max Chestnus.
We know with a warming planet that storms are becoming more intense, right? These 1 in 100 year storms are becoming more common and more frequent. So the argument that this is a rare event and that it's part of doing business is really with climate change. We're seeing that it's happening more and more, and it's testing our infrastructure like never before. Especially, prior to this year, think of the last time Tampa Bay had a direct hit really was 100 years ago, and even Milton couldn't be classified as a direct hit on Tampa Bay because it hit south of us, but it was a window into what would happen if we had a direct hit from a major hurricane.
And Helene hit north of us, basically,
right? 100 plus miles offshore of us.
Yeah, that's right.
Look how much storm surge it brought to our barrier islands.
Yeah. Well, listen, we have a call, gentlemen. George is not sure where he's from. Wants to talk a little bit about homeowners insurance. So let's
George. Are you there,
George, are you there?
Yeah, could you hear me?
Yeah, yes, good morning. Good morning. Thanks for joining our conversation. What's up?
Yeah. Well, whatever I'm on I-75 headed north, I always like to listen to MNF. But I'm retired from the insurance restoration industry. We would respond to emergency fires, floods, things like that. And what the recent changes that the Florida legislature made to limit reimbursement when your insurance company is not dealing with good faith and you want to hire an attorney, they basically have shut that down as a recourse for property owners. And now you read about the insurance companies denying up to 2/3 of the claims that they're getting. And I was wondering, in regards to the accountability in the industry, if you have any comments about that, or if you've done any stories about that.
Hey, George, thanks for calling. We appreciate it. Be safe on that highway.
Have a great day.
Yeah, that's a great question, George. So I've done a lot of post-storm insurance coverage. Predominantly Hurricane Ian was sort of a case study that I focused on back in 2022. I have a lot of unpublished reporting, actually, that we're still finding a home for a bigger project, but I can talk a little bit about it. I spoke with people that lived on Fort Myers Beach during Hurricane Ian, and there were stories that I was hearing where people would go through 7 different desk adjusters before they finally were assigned someone that could hear their case. I spoke with one man who lost his entire home in storm surge, and when an insurance person came out to evaluate his home, they said that they couldn't prove that it was water damage, and said that his claim wasn't going to be able to be fulfilled. So that's why we, as journalists, view storytelling as so important, because until you hear what people are going through with insurance companies, it's hard for, I think, politicians to really understand the struggle that day-to-day Floridians are going through. And so finding people, especially after Helene and Milton, that are actively going through the insurance struggles right now and telling those stories is an important part of our job.
So, love Max Chestnut, is fantastic, from the St. Pete Times, doing tremendous work on environmental issues. We're here at WMNF. 813-239-9663 is our call-in line to donate. We've got 3 minutes left, and we've got a couple $100 to go.
I think
I've got a contribution from Joy Walston of Tampa, and she wants Sadie Dingfelder's Faceblind book. Fantastic. Joy, I want to know, after you read it, what you thought. But thanks so much for calling in. $75 pledge.
I think the point to the soundbite we just heard is that we are bringing people into the studio so that you can talk to them. So if you have a story idea, or you have something that needs investigation or something, you can talk to Max. And
Hannah Critchfield, we had her on talking about the migrant farm workers and connecting people to that very important issue.
And so this is your show and your station. So that's one of the reasons we're asking for help. Let me say thank you to a dear friend, Julie Jenkins, called in.
We love you, Julie.
With a donation.
You,
thank you for your kind words. You said, love you, John, Lynn, and Jason. Thanks, sweetheart. We love you too.
Julie Jenkins,
thank you
the
for
hardest
calling
working civic activist.
One of the sweetest people.
If you want to call in and help this show and the station, it's 813-239-9663.
With those donations, we still need to raise $600, so we need to do that in the next 2.5 minutes. You can call 813-239-9663 or WMNF.org.
Hey, the Carrie Kreisman book is still available. We got the Pittman book is gone. Sadie Dingfelder book is gone, although we could get a few more of those.
We do have connections.
But Carrie Kreisman's book, I enjoyed it so much. Just seeing the inside of a political marriage. And
like we don't have enough of that.
She's a wonderful woman, and it's a great book. It was a good read. You know what? We're going to reduce the price on that to $50. Oh. Carrie Kreisman book, The Accidental what?
First Lady.
First Lady. Thank you. So anyway, we're wrapping up this hour. We do love you. We appreciate you. If you didn't have a chance to call, now's the time. 813-239-9663. Even Mitch Perry will take our calls for the next 5 minutes or so, and help us make our goal. Lenny?
Thank you all for listening. Thanks for caring about our community. Thanks for helping WMNF. The number to call is 813-239-9663. I'd be ignoring this wonderful host over here to my right, Mr. Dingfelder. Thanks for all you do. You do a good show. And thanks, Jason.
Oh, man, listen, I'm so sorry we ran out of time. Commissioner Joshua Woolstall, I'm sorry we didn't find time for you today.
Jason, we got to get the young people involved. We got to get the young people calling in. $5, $10, $15, $25.
813-239-9663. You guys help support community radio.
And we love you. Sean, thanks for all your help and all your leadership.
Oh, thank you. And thanks for all of your volunteer work. And thanks to everyone who donated. And we are still looking for donations for Down and Dirty. Give us a call, 813-239-9663. You can also donate on our secure website, WMNF.org. This is WMNF Tampa.
Money. together.